Hello, we are the Save Your Rights Research and Ethics team, and today we're going to be taking you through a video on forced marriages.
So what is a marriage? A marriage is a legal and consensual union between two people.
So what is forced marriage? Well, it's still a union between two people.
In a forced marriage, one or both spouses do not fully consent.
But one or both of them have been forced into it. What kind of force are we talking about?
Physical, emotional and/or psychological pressure.
There is no single example of a forced marriage.
There are hundreds of types of situations where forced marriages can occur.
For example, as a business transaction, for immigration purposes, for caste reasons, cultural reasons, or as a promise of a future wife.
Parents may be trying to uphold their cultural traditions or maintain their respect within the community.
So sometimes parents believe that a forced marriage is in the best interests of their children.
You may think the only victims of forced marriage are women. In fact, 15% of the victims are men.
You have to define a forced marriage, whether somebody has agreed to marriage by force, coercion, whether somebody's been forced because of some psychological pressure, physical pressure, or some sort of blackmail.
Each case is actually different because there are some elements in each case of forced marriage which may not be common to other cases, but there are of course some key links and common features.
There are a number of reasons in my opinion. The first is, I think, it's lack of understanding or lack of knowledge or lack of education, which plays a big part.
So in this, education is very important, okay? Because sometimes they don't even realize that they are forced into that marriage. You don't realize it until it's happened. And they think that they are doing, they make a young person think that what they are doing is right for them, for the family, for everybody.
I was 19 when I got married to someone I never even knew, I never even liked. And I tried getting out of it. I said to my father, I don't want to get married to him. And he goes, no, you have to do it because it's family, it's honour, it's our izzat, he said to me.
That there may be financial reasons behind forcing somebody into marriage to enhance family fortune, to keep wealth or property in the family by tying marital sort of relationship between two families.
You have emotional blackmail by the parents. Sometimes the mother will say, well, if you don't marry my nephew, I will have a heart attack. If you don't, I'm ill, I'm psychologically, you are driving me crazy. Your father will divorce me, your mother, your cousins will leave me. All sorts of emotional pressure, psychological pressure is put upon the young person.
Also, it's what we call the honor or the izzat. Often, it's like the parents think that if their children go against their wish and get married to somebody, then they're bringing kind of bad name or bringing shame to the family. And that also plays a huge part, especially within certain community like Pakistani, Kashmiri community or the Punjabi community, and in some ways with our community as well, like Bangladeshi community.
Guys, did you watch Waterloo Road last night?
Nah, forget Waterloo Road. Are you going to see Phil tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I'm nervous.
Don't be silly, he really fancies you.
How was your exam? Very good. You are very clever. How's your dad? Good. Preeti hasn't come back from school yet.
Who's that? What are you talking about? Yeah, I love EastEnders. It's like real life.
Yeah. I'll do it, yeah.
The big one. Whatever. See you later. I don't know what you two are talking about.
Sachin. Very good. That's excellent. Sachin, Preeti is here. I will give the telephone to her, okay?
Hello? Who is this?
Sachin,
Sachin who?
your husband.
What? Is this some kind of joke?
Did your parents
I don't understand what you're talking about. Bye! Idiot!
Hello? Hello, pretty? Hello?
Sachin, no, that's no problem, okay? It'll be fine. I'll sort it out.
Betty, why are you so upset?
Mum, I don't understand what's going on. Dad is saying that I'm married to this boy in India. I don't understand what's happening.
Betty, Daddy and I love you very much. You know that, don't you?
I know you love me, but what's that got to do with me marrying this boy in India?
Betty, this would be good for you. We care about you.
You don't have to marry me off to prove you love me. I have other plans for my life, you know, not getting married at 15.
What plan have you?
I want to go to college. I want to study medicine.
Who says you can't study? You can study after the wedding ceremony. That boy is very clever. He can help you with your studies.
No!
Say, missus, when's the party?
Shut up, you silly cow! I thought you two were supposed to be my best friend.
Pretty, we were teasing you. We didn't mean to upset you.
What am I gonna do? What should I do?
Seriously, this whole thing's so bizarre and old-fashioned. I don't know what your parents are thinking.
Dad. Why are you doing this to me?
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Why are you doing this to me?
I think we need to talk about this. Betty, you need to understand one thing. We are from a top caste family. Like the royal family here. People respect us because we keep our word. I had given a word to Sachin's father 12 years ago that you are going to marry his son. How can I change it now?
Is your honour more important than the future of your daughter, Dad?
Yeah, that's the most important thing for me. I have decided you are going to marry Sachin. End of story, okay? Concerned about Preeti.
She's too young. Her exams are on.
I don't care. I'm going to book the tickets. I want you and your daughter ready by tomorrow, okay?
real problem that we have to face, and we have to face reality, because this affects lives, it affects freedoms, it affects people's choices. And so therefore we need to have this conversation, and this program that you are doing is fantastic because this is raising awareness. So when there is awareness, where there is acknowledgement, then we've got to say to the parents that this is bad for the children, it is bad for, because every forced marriage then goes through, majority of them goes through domestic violence. Do you really want your daughter to be beaten up? Do you really want your son to be washing up somebody's dishes? Do you really want a conflict for the next generation and for those children to be messed up when they come out of a forced marriage? Do you really want the boy or the girl to become adulterous, because there will be affairs that will be going on out of marriage because of the force that is being used? So there are all these issues which is un-Islamic, unreligious, whether it is Hinduism or Sikhism, and they are unethical and also completely irrelevant to the culture as well.
Islam doesn't advise anyone to kind of, get forced into a relationship. Even Islam in itself, Allah says in the Quran, is La ikraha fid deen. In religion, which is the most important thing, even in religion there is no compulsion. A person must be able to accept religion and the whole concept of what life should be from his heart.
If we talk about Islam, but of course we must remember that it doesn't happen only to Muslims, it happens to all kinds of communities. But if you talk about Islam, Islam banned it 1400 years ago quite categorically. And forced marriage is not a marriage in the eyes of Islam.
Therefore Allah SWT says in the Quran, فَانْكِحُوا مَا طَابَ لَكُم مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ. Make nikah and marry those who you like.
In principle, forced marriage would happen when both parents are silly or stubborn or semi-literate or uneducated. That is my understanding. These are the normal reasons why a forced marriage would happen.
It's, actually, forced marriage, in certain respects, would be regarded as invalid marriage. And let me explain why. The Jewish tradition, Jewish practice is largely determined not just by what particular beliefs people hold, but actually by the lives that they lead and how they observe the various obligations within our law. We call the Torah. And if a mitzvah, as it is called, which is that's the name for a religious obligation, if a mitzvah is observed under duress, it's not effective.
That without the consent there is no marriage. If the person has been forced into it, or without the consent it has been marriage, they are allowed immediately to dissolve their marriage.
But the other thing is, which the law can't do, is for people to go there and raise awareness among parents, engaging the community leaders to say that this is a human rights abuse and should not be acceptable. And to go to the faith leaders, religious leaders, to say that forced marriage is condemned by religions as well.
Community leaders or the religious leaders got a huge role to play, because especially we live in a very close-knit community, and these sort of things that often come into the attention of community leaders or community, say, religious leaders like the imams. So if an imam says, if they can hear that there is going to be a forced marriage, and if they talk about it, then the community will listen.
Basically, well, I'm not saying who, but I know this imam, and he's got his daughter married to who she wants to, and then somebody said to him, "Oh, my daughter, I'm, being forced into a marriage." He goes, "No, you listen to what your father says."
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this is the best, the most beautiful thing He enjoys when there's love between a couple. But one of the things that He hates is when there's a divorce, when there is this conflict between two people. So obviously we need to make sure that it is by choice and not by force.
At the last moment, they communicate with the children. They don't consult the children from the beginning. And when at the last moment they said it has been decided for you, then obviously those children will not accept that, because they are exposed to this country's culture as well, where human rights and individual freedom is important.
They don't realize that the boys and the girls brought up in this country have British education, they have freedom, they can think independently, but the parents, I think, in such cases believe that their children will always follow them without question.
A lot of our marriages have been economic marriages, because our relatives who need to come here, because then they can become better off. Secondly, because of the close ties between the families. You know, I must marry my cousin, otherwise my auntie and my uncles will not speak with us. They will break away. And then there are some issues in relation to property, because the property we have in Bangladesh or in Pakistan or in Punjab, they will not allow us to go back and have it, because they will take over.
Hello. No, listen, yeah. No, I have no problem. Yeah. Don't worry about my wife and daughter. If you keep your promise, I'll keep you my promise, yeah? Yeah, anytime, no problem. Yeah, that's good. Okay. No.
Don't worry, Betty. This boy will look after you.
Yeah. Come to the point now. Has the land registration been done? Oh, that's good. Okay, great. If everything is ready, I have no problem coming to India anytime. Very good, very good. Ask the astrologer to give us a good date. By the way, Ashuk's father hasn't sent any money for the ticket yet. Oh, very good, very good. Yeah.
Daddy has been careful this time. He's a good match for you.
You said that last time. Look what happened.
From the day you were born, we've taken good care of you. We are getting old now. We have to think about your future. What will happen when we die? Who will take care of you? It breaks my heart to see you this way. This should make you happy. Mum, I'm a big burden on everyone. I'll be a burden for him, just like last time. I can't carry on like this. Nah, Betty, you are not a burden on us. It will work this time, I'm 100% sure. I'd rather be alone than go through this again.
Did you tell Priya we are going back home soon?
Not yet. I'm trying to convince her.
The money has been transferred to our account. So we have to go ahead with this. Ashuk says this land has so much potential. It's a perfect place for the shopping mall.
What about Priya?
Priya? I am doing these things for her future. Yeah. No, it's lots of work to be done. Yeah. If he asking 50,000, I'm gonna buy it tomorrow. The other one. No. I can make 10,000 profit if I want to sell it today. But I want to keep it because I know price will go up. Yeah, wait a minute. What the hell you have done now? Yeah, you bloody breaking things every day. What do you think? Your daddy is a millionaire? Hello. Yeah, sorry about that.
And none of that actually looks at the well-being of the young person. None of it looks at the interest of a young person. None of it actually looks at the future of their children.
I mean, sometimes when I think about... Sorry, I'm gonna cry. Like, why am I mean, sometimes I think I've not done nothing wrong. Why am I going through all this? I mean, I used to love my parents to bits, but now I just can't stand them. I mean, when I go in the house and I just go to my room, I ignore them. I mean, basically they ignore me, so I'm not exactly going to hug them up.
Parents who are supposed to be thinking for the welfare and for the betterment of their own children are thinking very selfishly.
So, you know, I mean, it can affect the entire family. And the perpetrators are not necessarily just one or two people. It may actually involve an entire family, and it may involve extended family. It may involve some of the friends of the family who will coerce the girl or the boy into marriage. So it is a very different thing from domestic violence, which may have only one perpetrator.
Forced marriage itself is not a crime. There was a government consultation 5 years ago to decide whether it should actually be made a crime and made a statutory crime. Like an example of a statutory crime is something like theft, where there's an Act of Parliament that deals with it. The consultation had to do with that, as to whether there should be a specific statutory offence.
If somebody is forced into a marriage and they do not agree with it, then I think they should seek help. There is Save Your Rights, where they can contact.
There are agencies and third sector organisations that are used to dealing with these situations, and individuals in that situation need to know that there are certain agencies and bodies that are willing and have experience in helping them, and that there may be ways that they will be able to be given accommodation and assistance with living in order to escape a situation where they've been forced into a marriage and they're having criminal offences committed against them as a result.
Some fathers feel that the girls are bringing shame to the family and the community by behaving badly, and we have in this country reported 12 honour killing per year, which is Metropolitan Police of London actually recorded, which is based on keeping honour of the family and killing mainly girls for behaving badly.
The prosecution services in this country, the police and the prosecution bodies have all been trained in relation to dealing with forced marriage and dealing with honour crimes as well. I've said that forced marriage itself isn't a crime, and that's correct, but there are a number of things that may well happen in the course of forcing someone into a marriage that actually do amount to criminal offences. Particularly what we see, and the crimes that I'm thinking of, are things like false imprisonment, possibly kidnapping. If someone is taken and held against their will to effect a marriage, they could be have those offences committed against them, and also assault. Clearly, if someone is physically assaulted in the process, and also you can have crimes like rape if they're forced into sexual relations against their will as well.
Or it may be because of the fear of westernization of children. Because sometimes, particularly girls who are crossing the boundary of behavior, the boundary set by parents, then they get very worried. And then they want to correct that behavior by forcing the girl or the boy into marriage. It's mostly girls, about 85% girls, who are victims of forced marriage. But there are, of course, boys, about 15% as well.
It's very unfortunate. I've seen some mamas, some mothers, who think that because their son is going out with an English girl or a girlfriend, if he's taking drugs or if he's taking alcohol, that they can bring in a woman from abroad.
If some parents feel that some of the children have been influenced by peers into taking drugs and become drug dependents, they may sometimes feel that a marriage can cure that.
They feel that they're going to the United Kingdom, and in culture they think, well, you know, the boy is taking alcohol, but when he's married, he will be all right. But the mother thinks of it a different way. Even if he's not all right, for 2 years, I've got a slave who will wash my dishes and who will clean my house and who will cook. That's absolutely wrong. And where there's domestic violence, then those girls are entitled for the right of leave to remain in the United Kingdom, and they should contact the authorities straight away.
No, bro, check the time. I've got to go home. Where are you going, Marcus, boy?
Hey, we've only just started.
No, man, I'm stoned. Plus, my old man's gonna kill me.
Oh, come on, babe. Stay. Have some fun.
Well, if you insist. I'm so sorry, Mum.
Have you noticed anything different with Junaid?
No, he seems okay.
I'm a bit worried about him.
Why? Did he come late last night again?
He's hanging around with the wrong crowds. He might be taking drugs.
It's all your fault. You gave him too much freedom. You have ruined him.
Now this is my fault? Now he is my child? What about you? What have you done?
I have to take a decision.
Hello? Have you sent out the invitations? Oh, you did? Good man. What about the chairman? Did you invite the chairman of the union too? Oh, you did? Well done. Good man. Tell me, what about the catering? Have you arranged all? Oh, you did? Very nice. Oh, good man you are. All right then, I'll talk to you again, yeah? Bye for now. Bye.
Listen, we need to do some shopping, and you know, I like to buy new sari.
Hello, Mouse. What's going on? You both look really happy.
Oh, I didn't tell you. We are going on holiday to Bangladesh for 4 weeks.
Mom, I can't go. I've got too many things to do here.
We already bought a ticket. Go and pack.
Mom, I don't want to go. Mama, please, I'm begging you. I can't go.
What I found actually is that it's parental role that is important here, because when children are born, parents should spend more time with children, giving the family values, talking about what is good, what is bad, what's wrong, what is right, etc., a bit more, rather than forgetting about all these things and sending them to schools and depending on school teachers all the time until they become teenagers. Suddenly then they decide that we should take some interest in them, we should arrange marriage for them or force them into marriage. But by then, they have already got different kind of ideas, different influences on them. So I think the communication between parents and children is extremely important in all societies, in all communities. And if parents don't communicate with their children from their childhood, then different kind of influences will distract them from family values or principles that the family really likes to see in children.
From the word go, if they can open up a dialogue between the parents, and they need to do this not after they have gone way past a no return situation. They need to do that initially. They need to be able to understand the parents and keep this kind of dialogue open. Once that is closed, then it's very, very difficult. And the time is needed now to open a dialogue with the parents. So they need to keep this kind of talking and discussion with the parents open right from the word go, and also seek help from the outside, maybe imams or people from leaders of the community as such.
I think what's important is that we have this conversation, this dialogue at home. The parents must speak to their children. They must understand their children. Children also, young people also need to respect their parents. They also need to try and understand from their point of view. Once there is a dialogue, then you can resolve some of these issues. You can find a way forward. In my view, I think that it's time that we say goodbye to marriages from South Asia. I quite honestly can say that. I think that very rarely marriages from South Asia actually work with the second, third or fourth generation of young people. Very rare. Of course, if it's compatible, of course if it's their choice, and of course if they're free to make that decision, they are entitled to do it. And this is a free country and they should be allowed to.
They never communicate with children, and I think you'll find that within our community, the parents never sit down with the children and talk about issues.
Make sure you do what is best for them, keeping them informed, making sure you listen to what they say. It's very important. You listen. You love your children, so you listen to them. I'm sure they will not do the wrong things if you are there for them and you listen to what they've got to say.
Parenthood is a very important responsibility, and we should do a lot of things about giving good parenting skills to various families, and it can be done if really certain agencies are used properly, like family support agencies, and community groups who are providing services to parents through parents associations, child centers or children's centers, we can tackle those issues by giving good parenting skills to parents. But everything requires resources, as you know. And if the resources are not coming forth, many people won't be interested in providing these sort of opportunities and skills to parents. But I think it is fundamental that we should do it in all societies.
After the marriage ceremony, the parents feel like they've done the job right. They've wiped their hands clean of their son or daughter. They feel like they've regained their status and their honor within the community or in their family. They feel like everybody is happy, their relatives are happy, they are happy, and the in-laws are happy. But who really isn't happy? The victim, the son or daughter.
This was not my choice. My father forced me to marry you. He brought you here. If you want to sleep with someone, go and sleep with him and stop bothering me all the time.
Look.
Please.
We are married. You have to accept we are married.
Just leave me alone. Get out of here.
Abba, how long is this going to carry on? This is not what we agreed. I didn't come here for a loveless marriage and a frigid wife. What is wrong with your daughter?
Okay, calm down. Nothing wrong with her. Listen, let's try and do this the proper way. I'm sure that's all the misunderstanding.
Don't worry, son. We'll make this work.
Is this your final decision?
Jiyappa.
Whatever we did for your happiness. So you cannot do this. He is your husband. Be a good Muslim girl.
Abba, she doesn't want to accept that I'm her husband.
Whether you expect or not, has nothing to do with this marriage. What she is doing is wrong. This is reality. I won't talk anything about it. This is final.
I'm not the failure here, Daddy. You didn't give me a choice. Why are you here again?
I should be here.
You stay. I'll go. What are you doing? If you behave like this, I'm going to call the police.
Khaled, what's going on?
Abba, you know very well what's going on. She's threatening to call the police.
What?
Abba, what are you doing?
What I should have done from day one. Khaled, stay here.
Abba, please. Abba, please.
Come on, stay here.
Please, Abba, I can't.
You can and you will.
Don't touch me. Don't
So how does that unhappiness manifest itself in their relationship? Well, first it begins in the relationship between the two spouses. If someone doesn't want to be in a relationship, then there's bound to be arguments, and these arguments can lead to domestic violence. The home can become incredibly violent. This can include raping and beating. The person's life, who's been subject to the forced marriage, can also hit a downward spiral. They can become incredibly depressed. Their work life can fall apart, and they could turn to drugs.
The arranged marriage, as we know and as we respect as an institution, works very well. And arranged marriages are very common in many societies even now, and many communities even now. In this country, arranged marriages used to be very common in the past. And in this country, arranged marriages even now happen. Because if you look at the dating agencies now, what are they? They're matchmakers. They are actually bringing people together, and on a basis of compatibility, they get married or not. And similarly, if you look at forced marriage is the opposite of that, but that is also arranged. That's why many people get confused, that if both marriages are arranged, then which one is arranged and which one is forced? Sometimes marriages are arranged, as many people, many parents or elders believe that they know who will be better for their children, and that's how they choose. And if the children don't accept that, that is where force begins to be applied.
Cultural sensitivity is no excuse for moral blindness. This practice is against religion, it's against culture, it's against the communities. And more importantly, it's not in the interest of your child. It must stop, and we have to do it together.
Respect arranged marriage, stop forced marriage.
Come back another day. It's always raining in my neck of the woods.